Here we are at example 1A from our 4.3, 4.47 notes. We're asked to factor the following. And just looking at this, we do notice that we have a trinomial here. Our A value is 1, so things are kind of just nice and easy. Now, typically, again, that first step that we've talked about is trying to pull out the greatest common factor. And because we do have an A value of 1, that really doesn't do a whole lot. So that step 1, we're pretty much just going to skip over because there really is nothing, no common factor that you can pull out of all three. So as a result, because we have this trinomial and we want to factor it, we're going to go ahead now and write our two different binomials. And in just looking at our two different binomials, we know that the first item that goes inside this parenthesis and the first one that goes inside this parenthesis have to be W. And the reason why we know that they have to be W is because if you were to distribute this, the W times the W would get us our W squared. So we know for a fact that W has to go here and W has to go there. Now we move on to the actual numbers part. And just looking at this, we are looking at this last number 15. And we want to create that list of those different numbers that can give us 15, just the number 15. Now we know that 1 times that number is obviously a factor on that list. 2 is not evenly divisible. I'm sorry, 15 is not evenly divisible by 2, so that kind of gets skipped over. We know 3 and 5 work out. 4 doesn't work, 5, then we're pretty much just back into this scenario, just flip-flopping the numbers. So it looks like this is the extent of our list. And again, typically we're going to use that strategy where we want to use two numbers that are kind of just, in the middle of that factor list. And looking at 3 and 5, we'll just go ahead and put a 3 here and a 5 here just to see. And lo and behold, actually, when you try to combine these two, you will end up with a value of what we want in the middle too. So again, if you combine the 3W and the 5W, you will end up with a value of 2W. So that kind of confirms that 3, 5 is the right one we're going to use on our list. Now we have to try and just kind of play around a little bit with the signs. Because we do want a negative 2W there. So again, here we'd end up with 5W. Here we get 3W. Because we're trying to get negative 2W, we know that we obviously have to have more negative W's. And as a result, this one has to be negative, and then this one has to be positive 3W. Because when we combine negative 5W plus 3W, we get that negative 2W that we're hoping for. So back inside the parentheses then, this one would have to be a negative to get the negative 5W, and this one would have to be a positive 3 to get the positive 3W. And so when we combine them again, we get that negative 2W that we're hoping for. Now we can always go ahead and check just to make sure that we factored correctly. W times our W gives us our W squared. Our W times negative 5 gives us negative 5W. Our positive 3 times W gives us positive 3W. And our positive 3 times the negative 5, we get negative 15. And so when we just combine these two numbers, we do end up with the middle that we were hoping for. The last one and the first number is also matched. So this pretty much does confirm and check out. Again, though, that is example 1A from our 4.3, 4.4 set of notes.